Hi guys, welcome back to episode 3 of the podcast. We have a special guest. Your name?
Barbara Schultz.
So, special guest today. So, we will be asking some questions. So first of all, where are you from?
I am originally from Ohio. I grew up in a town called MacArthur.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 58 years old.
Okay. So, today, well, first of all, I'm filming this real time. It is January 26th at 4:05 p.m. After we're done filming this, I'm going to go upload it. So that's good. If you guys do not know, she's never been on the podcast. So, she's going to be on the podcast today, and maybe some other times, we'll see. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in MacArthur, Ohio. I liked horses, all things outdoors. I was a tomboy. I grew up in the 70s and early 80s. Had wonderful parents and a nice extended family. I'm still friends with most of my classmates that I went to school with. I married young, had 3 daughters, and then went on with life and remarried. And then now I have Eli, he's my son, and enjoying life.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, so today I don't really have anything particular to talk about. Now that I think about it, so I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't really have anything particular to talk about. What happened after all that?
Well, after I divorced the girl's dad, we moved to Columbus, and I worked for a company called Merritt Builders, and basically was a custom design home. And I worked there for many years until I then went on and started working in car sales when Mr. Merritt retired. I raised my girls in Columbus. They were involved in all kinds of activities. We were very involved with our church and our church family. We would go down on weekends and visit my mom and hang out in the country and do country things. We traveled some. We went to Niagara Falls and saw that. We went to Florida and to Disney World, and then we went on to the Bahamas, and we took many trips and enjoyed life as a family.
Tell us a little bit about what happened when you moved to Puerto Rico.
I was divorced for many years. I moved back down and purchased my mother's home and started working at a car dealership down there. And while I was at work, I met my current husband. He came to purchase a vehicle, and one thing led to the other, and we were married. We've been married now to almost 26 years. When we had been married around 4 years, he was offered a position for 2 years to go to Puerto Rico and to be the general manager of the plant there. With my first family being an adult and already pretty much being out of the house, I said, let's go. 2 years. That would be fun. The Caribbean, you know, I mean, who would say no to that? And so we did. We went down in May the 4th of 2001. And 2 years ended up becoming 20 years. And my family went on, of course, married, had children, different things. Roger thrived in his job. We lost family members. I actually lost my mother right before we were transferred back here to the United States. We now currently live in Iowa, and we're learning about Iowa, and it's nice here. We like it. It's similar to Ohio. There are times I miss the 85-degree weather all the time, beach 5 minutes down the road. Eli is a Puerto Rican baby. He was raised there. So he's getting used to the cold weather, but he truly loves the snow.
Mm-hmm.
All he's waiting for is a 4-wheeler like he had in Puerto Rico so he can really enjoy the snow.
Yeah, I want one. I've been wanting one for a while.
We've been looking at different models and trying to figure out which one would best suit what he wants.
Oh yeah, guys, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. So, I have ideas on what I want, but I don't know yet. So I need to figure that out because I need to figure out which one I want. So I'm still thinking about that. I don't exactly know which one I want. So I have just a little bit of time to figure out which one I want. So when I do figure out which one I want, I'm not going to tell you guys only because it will be a surprise.
But it will be automatic, correct? We're not,
Yes, it
you
will
don't
be.
want a standard.
Yeah, it'll be
And you
alright.
prefer red in color?
Mm-hmm.
And what, 500cc you think would be powerful enough?
Mm-hmm. Because I want to have it for a while, so it's better to get.
Well, I think it's best just to go ahead and get an adult one. You know, I mean, you're mature enough and you understand driving well enough. I mean, he drives cars, for heaven's sake. He can drive cars, trucks, anything. He's very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your horse when you did have.
Oh, when I was a child, I started off at the age of 3. We had friends that went to church with us, and they had moved to the city. So they gave my father and I permission to take their horses to my house. And so we took it was a pony named Queenie and a horse named Big Red. So we took them to the house, and that was my first horses. And I rode them until then. I don't know if they came and took them. I'm sorry, I don't remember that part. Then my father bought me a pony named Beauty. Beautiful little pony. And I started off with ponies. Learned later on horses was better because ponies have a temperament. And so then I had a couple horses. One of them was named Dusty, and he was a quarter horse. And I barrel raced him. And every Saturday I would wake up, and before my mom could find something for me to do, I would sneak out, get on my horse, and make a peanut butter sandwich, and I was gone all day in the woods. In that time and in that era of time, kids could be out and they weren't in danger like they are now. And so I would come home when it was dark enough. I wouldn't be forced to work.
Interesting.
I have another story if you'd like to hear, and we have time on your podcast.
What is it?
So once I married Roger, he found out how much I loved horses. So he wanted to, of course, give me everything. When you're newlyweds, nothing's out of limit. So I found a friend who had a friend, and it went back to a childhood family that I knew, and he had a horse for sale that was a gelding that was 5 years old. The problem is, his name was Thunder. The problem is he had not been gelded till he was 4. So he did not realize yet that he was not a stallion. So we purchased this horse, and he was very high energy. It took everything to get him loaded in the trailer to take him home. I had already purchased him, but I was waiting on the time when the girl, my neighbor, had time to go pick him up in the trailer. And so it happened that she called me and she said, I can go. And I believe it was a Saturday afternoon. I'm not positive. It could have been a Sunday. Roger was in the yard working. I did not even remember to tell him I was leaving. I went and jumped in the truck and away we went. So for like 3 hours, Roger didn't know where I was because I had forgot the time I was going to pick up my horse. So we have the horse at the house, and we had a perimeter fence, but we had never divided off our property for the horse not to come up to the fence. So that evening, our first night, we heard boom, boom, boom on our back door and on our porch, which was concrete. And here the horse was at the back door kicking on the door, trying to ask for food. He wanted feed. So anyway, a lot of funny things happened with that horse. Roger had told me that he knew how to ride, and I assumed he was telling the truth. So he gets on the horse, and he almost goes over the head of the horse, and we had all kinds of interesting things happen before we finally, with going to Puerto Rico, had to sell the horse.
Okay. Now tell them about how we got Odie.
Okay. Eli was 2 years old, and at the time we had what we call, my husband Roger had started a dog training facility because we had a breeding kennel called Legendary Canine. And we would sell these puppies. They're German Shepherds from Czech Republic, so they're Border Patrol dogs. And we would sell these puppies, and people couldn't handle them. So Roger started training the people with the puppies, and then other people would see and they'd stop and ask if we could help them. And so we built this huge training facility. So we were at training one night, and dear friends of our family were there, and they had just bought a little baby Shih Tzu about this long. And when Eli saw Tata, her name was Tata, her nickname was Tata, when he saw Tata had this baby puppy, he wanted to hold it. And he squeezed it, and he put it up next to his face. And Roger saw him, and he said, "Oh, that's so cute. Where did you get it?" And of course, Camilla's her name, said, "Oh, just like one street over from your house." So he told me in the middle of dog training, go get the money from the bank and go buy Eli one of those. So we did, and I came home with a little puppy like this, which was Odio, and he's on the show today with us. You want to show him, Odio?
And 9 years later, here
So
he is.
Eli is 11, and Odie is 9. They have grown up together, and they're best friends.
Yep.
And he has been the best little dog.
Yep, and then about 2 months ago, we decided to go to a show. Well, we decided to go to PetSmart, and we found a cat, and we decided to get the cat, even though my dad said not to. But we still got the cat, so now we have the cat. But now we have some problems, only because she wasn't allergic to the cat because we didn't have carpet in Puerto Rico. But now we have carpet.
We have a little backstory. In Puerto Rico, we decided to get a kitten because Eli was taking riding lessons, horse riding lessons. And when we were at the barn one day, as he was getting the horse prepared for his lesson, the lady had these kittens. And he loved them. He was maybe 8 at the time, I believe 7. And he loved them. And she said, "Well, it so happens I have a friend who has a kitten, if you want it." So we went, we saw this kitten, fell in love, and took the kitten home. And she grew up. Her name was Gigi. And she was black and white and just beautiful. And in Puerto Rico, I had no issues. But we had all ceramic tile floors. We had no carpets, no rugs. So she tragically was killed. And so when we moved up here, as Eli was explaining, we decided one day to go to PetSmart and walk around. And as we was walking by the adoption cages, we looked over, and there was a cat that literally looked like Gigi. And we started reading about her. Her name was Lucy. She had been in there for 373 days. It was just something else. And it was literally like Gigi had grown up. And we both had an emotional reaction. So as he was telling you, I didn't mean to interrupt him. As he was telling you, we called Roger, and Poppy said, "I wouldn't do that. Just don't do it. Don't do it." Well, Eli and I did not listen. We went ahead and adopted the cat. And now I seem to have allergies.
Yep, and we don't want to get rid of the cat, but we don't really have a choice because it's not like she can just live outside. So we are just trying to think of what to do because we don't want to take her back, because if we take her back, she most likely will never get adopted because it was a while before she got adopted from us. So I don't exactly know why people took her back because I don't see nothing wrong with her. But we also don't know if it's the cat because when we moved into this house, there was problems. Because this is another story. So we have gotten mail from 13 different people. And that is concerning because 13 different people has been in and out of here. So most likely because when we came and looked at the house, there was college students living here, and there was 3 of them, and there was a baby here. So one of them moved out. They were in that bedroom, the master bedroom. Then there was someone here, and then the bedroom that I'm in. So whatever went on, and then we have the problem of our electric bill being so high, which is very, very weird. So either way, there's been problems here, and there is problems here, and there's a thing. out back that is like, it's like a white,
It's
like
an aerator.
Yeah, it's a white pipe, and it goes like up, and then it goes like out the roof, and it runs nonstop, 24/7, all day long. It never stops. And it's very interesting because it just runs all the time, never stops. So, that could be why. And then we also have gas, but the gas, we haven't had to fill it. So the gas is normal, but the electric is high. So either way, we have some kind of problem. I don't know what it is, but yeah. And yeah, that's kind of basically what happened. I don't know. But we've got mail from 13 different families, and yeah. Somehow, I guess whoever sends the mail or whatever, they just don't know that they moved out. I guess they don't tell them, or they just keep sending them. But either way, we've got mail from 13 different people, and it's kind of concerning. So, yeah. But we're just trying to figure out what we should do with the cat. But we also don't know if it's this, because, well, when we came here, I think that they had a dog or something, or they just never cleaned this house, because there was like thick hair on the going downstairs to the basement on the stairs, because they're wooden stairs. And there's boards that have like fallen out, and there's just hair. So if they had a big dog, I don't know. But we wanted to get a dog, but it's not going to happen because our landlord's not going to let us. But that's a different story for another time. So, yeah. But we don't know if it's the cat or the house, because when we went to Ohio, it stopped. But that you don't know because you're not in the house, so you don't know if it's the cat or the house. I honestly think it's the house, because I just think this house has not been like professionally cleaned. Like, they never cleaned it. They cleaned it enough to where like it was livable, but at the same time not. So I just think the ductworks need cleaned, because they're not clean. They're clearly not. So that's what we have discovered. Well, because ever since we moved in here, she's had a problem. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know.
We're excited for summer. Maybe when summer comes and we open the windows and the fresh air, it'll rejuvenate the house and make things more easy, because the sinus infection that I've had has not been fun to deal with, and it's not easy for Eli or my husband Roger to deal with either. So
I haven't had any problems, but I'm not allergic to cats. But either way, I don't know what's going on with this house. But when we first moved here and we actually lived here, lived in the apartment, when we actually lived there for a little bit, she had some problems. So I don't know, maybe we're just like not used to Iowa enough, or even though we lived here almost 2 years. So I don't know. But yeah, that kind of happened. But yeah.
Well, thank you for having me on your show today. I've really enjoyed being here with you.
You too. Thanks. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude this podcast for today. I'm going to go upload it, and yeah, but this is episode 3 of the podcast, I believe. Yeah, it's episode 3. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Don't forget that like button.
Yes, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.